Bank of Industry, Nigeria's oldest development financing institution, was created back in 2001 following the merger of three separate financial entities. Not only is BOI recognised as a profitable institution, but it can also boast an agenda that is ambitious and diverse, including advocating for trustworthy and secure energy solutions and providing ease of access to finance for small and medium-sized enterprises. Well, the company's long-term goal is to ensure Nigeria's success and sustainability. And to explain how it plans to do this, I'm delighted to say that I'm joined in the studio by Mr. Olukayode Pitan, who is the MD and CEO of Bank of Industry. So thank you so much for joining me. Now, Bank of Industry is Nigeria's oldest, largest and most successful development financing institution. So what I'd like to know is, how have you done this? In other words, evolving what it has done alongside Nigeria's own growth as an economic powerhouse?
Thank you very much. Like you said, Bank of Industry has been in business now, will be 60 years this year. So we are part of the story of the country. The initial vision was, how do we have a bank that can help in the industrialization of the country, help the ailing industries, provide support for the areas of emphasis of government. And over the years, governments have come and they have gone. The bank has remained as a profitable bank. Balance sheet size today, we're about $3.5 billion US. It's owned by government. The two major shareholders, is the Federal Ministry of Finance and the Central Bank of Nigeria. But that notwithstanding, the bank has been profitable. Our results for 2018 will soon be out. But roughly, we posted profits in excess of $100 million.
And that's broadly ahead of what you expected or in line with expectations?
Ahead of what we expected, because we did something we had not done maybe since the inception of the bank last year. I came in as the MD CEO 2 years ago. And I felt we needed to expand, the balance sheet, to grow the balance sheet. So we went out to raise money for the first time in the international market. The idea was to raise $500 million, but it was oversubscribed, which is a good thing. We were able to raise $750 million. So the balance sheet, since I came in, it's grown about 60%. So we had more liquidity, we were able to do more, and of course we're more profitable.
Can I ask you about going out to the international markets to raise money? Clearly, they feel there's something about Nigeria that is worth investing in. I mean, what does that tell you about Nigeria's reputation, how the world sees it?
Well, in the last few years of this new government, the ranking of Nigeria has gotten a bit better. It depends on who you are talking to, in terms of transparency, in terms of the ease of doing business. For us, as Bank of Industry, we were elated because this is a bank owned by government, and you are raising money from the private market. What we did was to ensure that our operations, are well run. They're well audited. We have a Fitch rating. Our national rating was a AA. We have Augusto's rating. We have Moody's rating, and all these ratings nationally were AA. So it's a bank that is well run. So we had that going for us. So they're not just looking at us as saying, this is a bank we didn't know. In fact, most of the comments we heard was, where have you guys been all these years?
So you were one of the best kept secrets on the banking circuit, basically.
Oh yes, oh yes. The bank has been run a bit more conservatively, before I came in. I came in from the commercial banking sector,
right.
And investment banking sector. We used to make a bit of more noise.
So you've given it a bit of flair.
Yeah, into that, and it's paying off.
BOI has this phenomenal reputation for innovation. Tell me about that innovation, why it's been successful, and how that in turn feeds through to customer satisfaction, driving it.
Well, we're a DFI, a development finance institution, usually we are supposed sometimes to do what the commercial banks will not do. For instance, let us look at the creative industry. These were very talented Nigerians who were in the film industry. All they had were their scripts. So they went looking for financing. Of course, without the tangible security that most banks were used to, they couldn't raise the money. We had to come in, get a group of experts to read their scripts and pick winners. We had to find a way to get the money out to the people who are going to do the costumes, the different kinds of things. And some of those films today, became winners. That industry is growing very well. Now you talk of Nollywood.
Yes.
But we're a major part of Nollywood. Then recently, the government, through the JEEP program, that's Government Enterprise, Empowerment Program, wanted to reach out to Nigerians, the ones who didn't have bank accounts. They were targeting 2 million people. 2 million people in a very short time, who had not borrowed before, who didn't have credit. They had to come to us. This was monies lent out at 0% without security. But we are trying to get them into the financial inclusion, because some of them, when they pay back, that's the incentive. You pay back the loan. There are small loans, some between $30 and $50. But for many of those small businesses, that was a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, a millstone.
And the idea is that if you pay back the $50, you get $100. And you got this on your phones, you can go and cash it in banks. So we have been in the forefront of ensuring that we came up with products, that could meet some of the demands or some of the areas of shortfall in the economy.
Because I guess the worry as well has to be that in this digital age, some people will get left behind while others run forward. So you're trying to bridge that gap as well through innovation, aren't you?
Oh yes, we are trying to do that. And talking of this digital world that we are in, it's more like a passion for us. For us as a bank now, one of the things we do for our corporate social responsibility today is that we actually invest in IT hubs. So there are about 2 or 3 that we have done, and we're going to do more. The idea is that there are so many smart Nigerians who are unemployed, but if you had a place for them, with broadband, with the computers, they can come in there and do their work, they are able to generate some income, and we want to encourage that. Possibly let it go down to the junior schools so that we are actually coming up with Nigerians who can compete in the 22nd century.
We've looked at 2 industries where you're making an impact, technology and media, but take me through the journey. Supposing, for example, that I had a great idea for a business that wasn't linked to either of those 2 areas. I came to you for help. What is the journey? What would I have to do? Where would you take me?
Basically, there are some things we look out for. We look and we like companies that are into import substitution, which means if we finance you and you get that money, what you're going to do with it, we ensure that we're not burning up our foreign exchange. So we like those kind of companies. We like companies that lead to employment because we have a huge population. And the way things are going, in another 20, 30 years, Nigeria will be one of the biggest countries.
Population gets bigger.
Yeah, so we love that. Light manufacturing, the area we feel we can compete as a country. Technology, we love things in that area. Solid minerals, because we have some minerals that can be exported. Natural resources, we're into that. Agro processing. So if you're in any of those areas, the other areas too that we cover, and you come to us, if you're a small size company, we have some people that we have registered who can hold you by the hands, help you put together your papers so you can come to the bank. So we also do capacity development, to ensure that you know what you are doing. There are areas of grant. So depending on where you fall, on how much money you are asking for, some are micro, some are the medium-sized, some are large enterprises. Then we now let you know who you're going to deal with. If your business it's in the lower segment of the market, some of the cost of the consultant, we actually pay for it.
Right, but it's a relationship that endures. So it doesn't matter if you start up very, very small and you're walking tall, it's still there. You'll still have that reference point.
In fact, we had some that were medium-sized who are now large, and we have inducted them into our Hall of Fame. There are a couple of companies like that who are now large, but when they came to us initially, they were small.
Yeah, micro businesses.
Micro businesses.
I mean, you are very, very busy, as you've explained, and also the bank itself, it's responsible, as I understand it, for managing the funds of 17 state governments. That's a lot of money, a huge responsibility. So how do you create and sustain those relationships? Because obviously each of them, I would imagine, will be quite diverse in their own ways, presenting various challenges.
Oh, yes. How we came about it was that the states, the governors came to us and said, you are Bank of Industry. You are supposed to give monies to the small businesses in our states. We said, yes, but we want you to partner with us. So we said to them, for every amount of money you give unto us, we are going to match it. So it became a matching fund scheme. So if they gave us ₦1 billion, we'll match it with ₦1 billion. And that money will be lent in their particular state. There are many reasons for doing that. One, we wanted to involve the government. Secondly, we were sharing risk with them. And thirdly, because most people see a government-owned bank as part of their own, the resources of the bank is their resources. Loans from that kind of bank are not meant to be paid back. So when we partner with the states and we have issues with repayment, we jointly go out to collect. And they see on a daily basis some of the problems that we experience. We've had some cases, some of the states, they actually stopped us granting out the loans. Because when they saw that some of the people were saying, this is a grant, they got involved. In some of the states, they had come up with like a business school. Not all the people were fraudulent or didn't want to pay back. Some didn't have the capacity. So like in Cardinal State, for instance, the governor came up with a scheme that before you could access that loan, you have to go for training about a month or two to know about the rudiments of doing business, so that this money is not lost.
Whatever it is you're doing it right. The proof is here because you have been awarded the Best SME Partner Bank in Nigeria. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And you personally have been recognised as Banker of the Year. So, wearing two hats, your hat as a boss and your hat as a man, what does it mean to you having these awards? What do they say?
Well, for me, first of all, thank you very much. And it's a good thing for the bank. It's good to see a government-owned bank run as a private bank. It is run professionally. You are adding value. At the same time, we are touching lives. We have a program that comes up on TV every week in Nigeria, where we showcase some of the projects and the companies that we had financed. When you hear their stories, you will know it goes beyond financing. For people like myself, it is not giving out money. It is giving out money to the right people. Because the monies that we give out are usually subsidized. In Nigeria, interest rates can range between 25% and 30% per annum. In our bank, all our loans are 10% and below, single digits. So that money definitely is subsidized. You cannot afford to give that money to everybody. One, we don't have enough. So the money is targeted towards sectors, that we enhance the GDP of the country. We help us to recruit more people, provide employment, So for me, it's gratifying that the little that we are doing is being recognized. For me as a person, it's also gratifying because I've been about 30 years in banking. About 10 years ago, I said to myself, I've had enough of banking. So I quit, decided to retire. So government brought me back 2 years ago to do this. So if this is part of the reward of doing that, so I said to myself, my little efforts have not gone unnoticed. So I do appreciate it.
Right, so you've forgotten about retirement then?
Well, I still plan to go back to retirement.
At some point, not just yet.
5 years is what I have. I have done 2 years. In the last 2 years, we have done things the bank had not done in 60 years. I am satisfied. If I can do more in the next 3 years, I will think about whether I should retire or not, but I will think I'll put in my quota.
Supposing that the contract is just extended, it's a choice then of take it or leave it. What do you think you would do, apart from think about it carefully?
Time will tell.
We'll have to leave it there. But look, Olukayode Pitan, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, and I wish you the very best of luck in the 3 years, and hopefully more. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
There you are.